The first Nepali song that I wrote was a Wildfire. I wanted to write a song. It came as an image, like a visual image, Wildfire back home in Kalimpong. So I grew up there, so I moved to Delhi, and then after that, my entire adulthood, I was in Delhi, and I wanted to write something on that line. So I wrote the song Wildfire, and I needed to form a band because people started calling me to play this and that. So that's how I got in touch with Rahul and Pranay. Like in songs like Asar, I wanted to capture that feeling of monsoon. In Kalimpong. I grew up there, and then I know how it feels. Like I've never felt monsoon anywhere else. I wanted to capture that moment, so it came out in a song like Asad. And then I posted it on SoundCloud, put it on the Facebook account. That song just literally took off like a wildfire.
Before we get started, we just want to say thank you again to Bipul Dai for allowing us to conduct this interview on such a short notice. We understand how busy you are and how tight your schedules are, so once again, thank you very much. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. First of all, Dai, about those who may not know you and who may not be familiar with you, could you tell us a bit about you? अनि तपाईको traveling band मा कसरी form गर्नुभयो भनेर भनिदिनुस् न हामीलाई.
Hi, my name is Bipul Chettri, and I'm from a small town called Kalimpong, actually. And I essentially play Himalayan folk music. Sing in Nepali, and a band called Traveling Band, which we formed 10 years back in Delhi. They're basically a group of friends, who I know since my school days, most of them. And so, yeah, we travel all around, playing music.
Nice, nice.
Stuff. अनि दाइ तपाईले folk music बारे कुरा गर्नु भयो हैन so like I think your music kind of blends in Nepalese folk music हरु अनि त्यो different कुराहरु आउँछ different genres हरु हैन but तपाईको यो inspiration अलिकति युनिक छ न तपाईको music taste हरु अनि त्यो यो the flavor of everything you do okay? What's the inspiration behind it? How did you find that?
So when I started about Nepali music gone 10 years back. I mean, I had never thought of doing Nepali music in my life because I studied, Western classical music, and then I was very much into, Western music, rock, jazz, with other kinds. So, मेरो मनमा चाहिँ was never really like, I am doing Nepali music, and just for the Nepali people. And I was just doing music, and it was broadly, in my head, it was like a world music scene, like how there is Latin music or how there is African music. Similarly, there's Nepali music. And I've always thought of this in a way that, that I've never, in my head, I've never restricted it in terms of, just being for, Nepali people. I've made music in terms of which can be listened by anybody who likes music. So,
nice. On तपाईँको creativity अनि how you come up with that तपाईँको त्यो process हरु हामीलाई भनिदिनुस् न how do you come up with these ideas and अब you may know अघि नै हाम्रो कुरा भयो हैन ChatGPT and modern artists may use ChatGPT तर तपाईँको creativity flow चाहिँ कहाँबाट आउँछ where does it come from?
I mean, it's very instinctual actually. There's a certain idea that you want to write about, and then you think in terms of how I can best write that idea. Sometimes it comes as a feeling like in songs like Asar, I wanted to capture that feeling of monsoon, in Kalimpong, which because I grew up there, and then I know how it feels. Like I've never felt monsoon anywhere else as I've felt in Kalimpong, because it's in every place has its own special beauty. So I wanted to capture that moment, so it came out in a song like Asar. The idea of falling in love when you're traveling, it came across as a song like Syndicate. And Wildfire came as a painting in my mind of the wildfire that I used to see when I was growing up. So yeah, it comes across in many ways. There's no just one way to sort of But the thing is, once that hooks into you, once you hit a certain idea or a feeling, then then you start trying out ways in where you can work it out and you write a song about it. So
And what is your like kind of current thoughts with I love your different technologies? Like for example, like we're a digital market agency, we use things like the chat GTP and like different AI softwares to put down stuff. Again, I don't know if you've ever tried it, but what are your thoughts with this new and upcoming new generation, other artists who might even use get some ideas from you? What's your opinion on your developments?
I mean, I don't know much about ChatGPT in the sense I've not used it much. I've actually never used it at all, besides just knowing what it is. And but I feel that like change is the only thing that's permanent, because in everything, likewise in music, there has to be change, and one has to accept and embrace change. That's the only way forward. So I feel positive about even this chat GTP and the artificial intelligence, because I'm sure there's a right way to use it, and I'm sure it's just going to increase the productivity or the creativity of the people who use it in the right way. Just that now it's just too early to sort of conclude anything per se, but I'm positive that it should do well.
Yeah, absolutely. About the changing world, modern day and age, or changes around us. So yeah, who knows? People might cheat and use it, but nothing beats having creativity, I think.
Yes.
Personally, anyways. And just moving on, to talking about the audience, the fan base, Are you let someone say the career, man? What has been the most memorable fan interaction with them?
I don't know. There have been so many, and it's just. Long time back, maybe 10 years back, I was performing at a place, and then there was this young man who came up to me, and then he wanted to show me something, and I said like, what is it? So he came in and he opened his shirt, and then so he had tattooed a lyric of my song Wildfire. That was crazy. That was a trip.
For those who don't know, we were speaking to Rahul, who's the bass guitarist for the traveling band. He was, the way that he met you was through that first intro song, Wildfire. And I think you first performed that. You were at
the charity concert in Delhi.
That's it. Can you tell us a bit more about that Wildfire? Because, from what Rahul is saying, it's like that's a song that kind of catapulted you to where you are. Why did you start it?
Yeah, so the first Nepali song that I wrote was a Wildfire, so I just wanted to see how this idea would go in terms of I wanted to write a song. It came as an image, like a visual image for Wildfire back home in Kalimpong. In the winters we get wildfires, So I grew up there, so the thing is, an image is stuck in my head, and I wanted to. So and then I moved to Delhi, and then after that, so in my entire adulthood I was in Delhi, and I wanted to write something on that line. So I wrote the song Wildfire, and then I posted it on SoundCloud, and I put it on my Facebook account. That song just literally took off like a wildfire. I never really intended if it hadn't been that song, I don't know if I would be here, traveling and whatever, doing music of this sort. And so once that the song spread like a wildfire across the internet, across the world, and everybody started, whatever, it got thousands of views, millions of views, whatever. Then I needed to form a band, because I started, people started calling me to play this and that. So that's how I got in touch with Rahul and Pranay. Pranay I know since my school days, because we studied in the same school. I got in touch with my manager, Sonam Dasu. He also is a senior in my school. So we were all from the same place, Kalimpong, and Rahul. So through common friends and stuff. So then we formed a band, and then we started recording doing stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nice. Ani talking about the audience again. तपाईँको त Wildfire भन्नुभयो होइन spread like wildfire. Ani you have fans across the world now. अब हामी नेपालीहरू we're pretty much US, Canada, UK, and you name it. Ani how do you still stay connected? And तपाईँको musicबाट how do you allow that to be kind of shown to the world? हाम्रो नेपाली fan baseहरू लागि.
No, because that's the thing. The thing is, because of the internet and because of the modern ways of doing stuff, like it's so easy nowadays to sort of publish a song and it gets published, and anybody anywhere in the world can just view it like within seconds. So, and this has really helped not just me but other musicians like me sort of publish their work, and so that the fans all across the world can access it easily. So for me, it hasn't been a problem to be in touch with people from all across, because then, of course, as I said, that your social media like Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and all of that, has really tremendously opened up like doors for anybody to sort of, get instantly in touch with anybody else. So yeah, so that's really.
Just following up on that, पहिलाको obviously I don't know, Nepali artists भने नारायण गोपाल for them to reach a wider audience, it was very difficult.
It was.
But still, like they're very famous to this date. अब अहिलेको generation मा we have social media, we have TikTok अब हाल्ने बित्तिकै organically boom होइन.
Right.
Just touching up on that, त्यो difference चाहिँ तपाईलाई what's your thoughts on that? के पहिलाको generation र अहिलेको new generation मा that difference is, do you feel like it's easier now to become more successful, more famous? Especially as an artist.
Absolutely. I mean, it's no doubt about it. I'm not just in the arts, but anything in business or anything. Like, I mean, it's much more. I mean, it's much more easy to get connected with people all across the world. Like it's that is one aspect which is, I mean, they say that the world is flat now because everybody is in the same platform because of the internet. Like you can be a businessman or an artist from some remote part of the world, and yet you can be heard like anywhere instantly. So now it depends on just the quality. If you are good in terms of quality, if your product is good, if your songs are good enough, I mean you can just make it there, because it's just the internet has just like broken all barriers in terms of the middleman, or in terms of so yeah, I mean yeah, it's just now it's just whether now the only question is whether your product is good enough and whether you can compete with the rest of the.
I mean, just following up on that, and by the way, for our viewers, there's we're at Debris events right now. We're at the first start of the tour, so there might be some ladder background, so please they might not know that. So I wanted to ask you, I wanted to find you the artist and you have the band itself, but that requires someone to step up, someone to be that leader again. So what we want to ask is like, how do you lead your team, your band, your what's like your biggest tips for anyone who's looking to start a band or is part of a band?
So so we have I have a manager, Mr. Sonam Dashi. He's he's all in all. He looks after everything else in terms of the band, the tours, the contracts, the social medias. So yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate to have people like that with me in my band, and also the musicians running. So everybody has a special role to play. I mean, I mostly take, I mostly do the creative part, just writing the songs, arranging it, recording stuff like that. Everything else, Sonam, my manager takes care of the creatives in terms of promotions and visuals and stuff like that. So, so we sort of feed off from each other and, help and support each other. So, I mean, yeah.
Nice. Ani, moving on to challenges there, no? During lockdown 2020, as I'm ready, the West one of post Samaya, Ani, during that period of where the whole world was locked down more, people were struggling, struggling with jobs, family, health,
Right.
What challenges did you face when writing that, or even releasing the music? Ani, त्यसलाई चाहिँ कसरी overcome गर्नुभयो दाइ तपाईले?
So yeah, I mean, lockdown has for all of us, it was the way it was quite a depressing time to say the least. Like we all were like really. So I had for me I had to challenge my channel my my energy into doing something positive out of the whole whatever that had happened. So I literally I was stuck in my house for almost a year and with my family. And so every day I was just positively encouraging myself to use the time to do something better, something which I maybe normally would get otherwise if I was traveling or playing. So that was my main motivation. That okay, now that I've got time, I have to sort of make use of it. And then I started writing songs for someone. Even recording was a big challenge because I couldn't go to the studio and then record, and I couldn't interact with other musicians the way I would like to. So I basically the whole album is a very stripped down album where there's only guitars and the voice most of the time. It's because of because as I couldn't access other people, so I sort of had to arrange songs in a way which was as simple and 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 effective at the same time. So, but yeah, so once lockdown opened, then I sort of so I was interacting with my studio sound engineer through through the internet, yeah, Zoom or latest and it was it was quite interesting actually. But then when I eventually when we eventually finished the album and then released it, was I mean it was a special place. This one. As I said, it happened in a very in such a time and space that that's very rare.
I think that, like, for me, when we first started in business together, we're always looking for like competitors want to, but you might use a different word. So we always see what are other people doing, and how can we come up with a different solution, a different offer that's unique and sunny. And maybe तपाईँले पनि फर्स्ट सुरु गर्नुभएको होइन फर्स्ट मिसन Wildfire maybe like where did you like who firstly who did तपाईँको inspiration कहाँदेखि लिनुभएको and which artist did you look up to at the time?
I mean, there's so many artists that I sort of listen to. But but the thing is, what inspired me to get to the music that I did in terms of writing in Nepali and everything was a search for identity, a search for an authenticity, a search for who I actually was vis-a-vis who I thought I was. I mean, personally, I felt like that I could express best and most honestly when I was singing in Nepali, and I mean, I realized that I felt like my feelings. I felt in Nepali again. I think in English, but I somehow feel in it. So when I was writing the music, it's primarily it's feeling. So that's how I could connect it with that particular aspect. And then I started, and then of course, I mean, for everybody. My father also was a musician, a part-time musician, and so he was my biggest inspiration to Nepali music. I would listen to his songs. Bipul Chettri. He was also in the British Army here, and he had a show called Mohan by Night at this Folkestone BFBS, I think. Folkestone BFBS?
BFBS, go ahead.
Radio, is it?
Yeah.
So he was pretty well known amongst his peers and colleagues in the army at that time. So yeah, and then and of course, I mean, yeah, everybody, the musicians, we all grew up with classic rock and Bob Dylan stuff.
But if you listen to Bob Dylan.
But yeah.
Nice day. When you fast forward to now, in recent times, who you are now, तपाईँको stats हेऱ्यो भने over 155 million plays across your YouTube channel plus social media पनि छ होला अनि तपाईको social media followingहरु नि एकदम ठुलो छ so what was the reason behind all this के तपाई अब start बाट अहिले सम्म आएको if you had to kind of think what made this happen what made my success भन्ने नि के भन्नुहुन्छ तपाईले
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I just stay honest and rooted to what I do, and they're musicians. I'm sure who are much more successful than me.
Yeah.
And they're also musicians who are not as much successful than me. But we all have to, eventually do what we love to do. So success is just something which, comes along in a way. It's bonus, that you're successful doing what you're doing. But most important thing is if you love doing what you're doing. I mean, nothing can be more, successful than that in terms of, that's the best thing that can happen to anybody to love what you do, to find something that you love to do every day. You wake up in the morning and then you're looking forward to that. You do that the whole day and night, and then next day you wake up again to do more. So I mean, for me, that has been the most, inspiring thing for me, and most humbling thing for me has been to be able to do music, which I love to do, and to be able to live, doing music every day. And it's, that's the biggest success for me.
Love that. Love that. That has a concert to perform in the next few hours, so we won't keep him for too long. But we just had a final few questions, right? But we want to quickly talk about your future endeavors, what would you say your fans can expect in the future from you, the Travi band? Any new exciting projects or maybe new releases?
Yeah, so we are working on a full-length album at the moment. I just finished recording one song. And so yeah, hopefully we should come up with a new album, new full-length album soon, and we're really excited for it. And so
let's go like luck. Well, definitely. Hopefully, Wildfire. Let's go like that. If I might poke your Xano exclusive game on something,
right.
The trailer.
At the moment, I can't say anything. It's just so fresh, and we need to work out a lot of stuff. We need to do a lot of work to it. But I can say that yes, we've started work on it, and it'll take some time. But it's sooner or later it's going to be there.
Amazing. We'll be very excited for that.
Nice there. I guess final question, and to wrap it up, about our audience, there might be some who are aspiring musicians. Let's say, is there anything you'd like to say to them, or any piece of advice? I
don't know if advices work in a way. Whatever is good for me may not necessarily be work for you. But I would say that like I said earlier, like if you love what you do, that's more or less everything. And when you make a new song or write a new piece of art, I would not necessarily think, in terms of making it so that I want to write a song which is going to be like a super hit. The next song is going to have 100 million likes. I would write a song thinking whether I really love it, or I really enjoy making a song. If I'm happy with what I've written, I should be, firstly happy with what I've written, and then I think because I would not advise for people to sort of write a song thinking, I'm gonna write a song to make the other people happy, or to sort of in terms of one should think in terms of firstly, if you're happy with the song, if you're happy with the product, if you like it, then you share it. But I think the mistake what people do is like they write in terms of keeping the other people in their head, like writing for. So I mean, I would not necessarily do it in that way.
That's really good.
Perfect. I think that wraps it up, really.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dai. Thank you very much for doing this interview.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Dai.
Hopefully you
cheers.
guys gained a lot of value out of this. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur or get a musician, then please get a follow Ganola, and also please follow get a Bipul Dai And then where can people find you, by the way?
So I'm in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Yeah. So,
Perfect. Great stuff.
अनि दाइले चाहिँ यो आफै चलाउनुहुन्छ कि इज इट
No, we have my team does it. My manager,
But there's still a chance that you might yourself reply as well sometimes.
once in a while. Yeah.
Once in a while.
Once
There you have
when I
it,
get
guys.
time, yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. Dai, thank you so much.
No
for
worries,
having us.
man.
It's been
Love
absolutely
Himalayan.
pleasure.
All the best.
Thank you.